David Duke, top of the arc. Here's Pip, guarded by Gillespie. Steps back, spins, fires! Woo! Pip Gates!
They get another crack. They'll go to their senior. And he lays it in. Two big buckets by Alpha Diallo.
He crushed it. It's a grand slam.
Down by 3. 5 seconds. Reeves for the tie. He got it.
Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Dish Sports. I'm Ben Bellotti alongside my co-host here, Robbie Cannon and Matt Marasco. We're doing great, I can tell you that, but football, I don't know, college football, it's not looking so great right now, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, not looking good right now. We mentioned this a few shows back. I know somebody who works at one of the conferences. He said he wasn't thinking that there was going to be a season. For a while there was hope with some of the conferences releasing some, new updated schedules and trying to figure out ways to make it work. But in the last kind of hectic 48 hours, it was leaked that the Big Ten was going to cancel. They officially voted today. They did cancel today. So they're eyeing a 2021 spring season. Only 2 schools voted to play, just Iowa and Nebraska. Out of all the schools, kind of funny that those were the 2 that really pushed for playing. Nebraska's head coach, Coach Frost, is actually trying to figure out ways where they could leave the Big Ten for the season so that they could still have a season. I don't think that's going to happen, but that was reported. And then you also have the Pac-12, who has a whole host of issues besides COVID. They have players trying to unionize out there, all sorts of stuff going on with the Pac-12. They also today, everybody kind of knew they were going to postpone the season until 2021. They made that announcement today. They also canceled all sports up until 2021, so that would postpone the beginning of the college basketball season as well. So now we're starting to hear talks about colleges trying to create regional bubbles for college basketball, which could be kind of fun. You get a lot of matchups that you don't necessarily get all the time. Forcing schools to play teams outside their conference that they might avoid a lot of major conference teams having to play mid-major programs. So we'll see what happens with that. And as we speak, the Big 12 is meeting. The last I heard, which was about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, you had kind of 3 different divisions amongst the people meeting there. You had a small but very vocal section that wanted to cancel the season and push it to 2021. You had a small but very, very vocal section that wanted to just play a normal season or a modified season, but play in the fall and not delay. And then you had the biggest section of people that were kind of on the fence one way or another that were leaning towards just delaying the start of the season even more, maybe starting in October at some point. And right now, the Big 12 is the linchpin. You have the ACC is supposed to meet tomorrow with the 80s. Not the 80s. It's the chancellors and presidents, which is significant because they're more likely to vote to not play because they're more worried about the liability, whereas 80s are much more worried about the revenue. And from everything I've seen, everything hinges on the Big 12. You have the SEC. They want to play. They really want to play. If the Big 12 says, let's go, the ACC will probably join them in that, and they'll say, let's go, and you'll see a 3-conference college football season. At least that would be the plan going forward. If the Big 12 drops, all signs point to the ACC dropping, and that would leave the SEC standing alone. And I just don't see them, could they have a season by themselves? Maybe, but do I see them missing out on all the bowl revenue and, college football playoff revenue that they could generate if they went with the rest of the Power 5 in the spring? I don't think they can do that. I think that would kind of defeat the purpose of having a fall season and getting that revenue because there really wouldn't be too much to generate there.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Matt. I mean, it sucks that these conferences have to do this, but I think it is the right choice to push them back to the spring. And I think that I actually kind of like what the Big 12 did, and with the so January 1 we could have college hoops, we could have whatever. So I like that they can just push it all completely back to the spring, because obviously January 1st is still the winter. So they're giving hope for for sports to come back in early January is the way that I interpreted it.
Yeah, I agree. Really, I didn't look too much into it today. I have not a ton of time to do it, but just first reaction, it's really, I expected it to happen. I expected it to be pushed to spring with the Big Ten, the Pac-12. I really think all college football is going to be pushed to spring or not happen. I don't really think there's a way without going outside of the NCAA without doing that. I don't see a way that they can play really. So I don't know.
Yeah, and look, from a fan's perspective, I think this is easy. This is a no-brainer. People love college football because of the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody who plans to go to as many games as I can as a fan, there's nothing like tailgating before a game. There's nothing like the rowdiness of a crowd before a Friday night college football game. You just can't beat that. There's no reason. It's not like you're not going to have a season. You have to live for, 4 or 5 months without that revenue, and you're going to get it all in the spring. And you're going to generate more revenue because now there's going to be no NFL that you're competing with. So you're going to have double the primetime games. You can go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can have 3 8:00 kickoffs just like that all on national TV. It's just a no-brainer. For so many things that, there are complex situations caused by this pandemic, this one, I think it would benefit everybody to push it back to the spring. It'll benefit the fans for sure, especially the fans that can go to games, college students especially. They're, obviously I'm biased coming from that position. I want to be able to go to games. I want to tailgate. And I just think you'd have an unbelievable atmosphere if you postpone that until, sometime in the spring semester, and everybody's kind of been on lockdown at school, maybe got sent home early depending on what school you're at. And you all go back from Christmas break, and that first Friday night, there's a first football game, the first sporting event that you can go to. And, since everything's shut down in early March, I think that would be an unbelievable atmosphere. And, I think that the NFL can work with them. They can push back the draft so that you'll still have everybody playing. It just makes the most sense right now. You can, even if you can't put fans in stands at that point, you'd just be left with where you have today. So it can only get better from here. I just think that's what makes the most sense. And that's what I'm hoping everybody decides to do.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more with that. I think for sure it makes the most sense to do it in the spring. And I think like the money thing, I don't think it clearly doesn't matter that much if you're just able to push it from one season to another. So I think really it's just about safety and all. I think college is starting to realize, hey, a spring season wouldn't be that bad. And you just brought up a ton of great points. I think we were both thinking them. I don't see why all these schools wouldn't vote for a spring season. So,
yeah.
So let me ask, going forward next year, let's say all these schools do adapt to spring football, college football season. Does it remain the same in the next year? Because if it goes right back to normal like that, you're going to have some of these guys that are going right from spring football, then right back starting pretty much like right again. There's not going to have that much recover time. So do we see another spring season to come?
I would say I don't think so because anyway, those guys are there working out all spring anyway. They're there throughout the summer. And the turnaround, there will be revenue lost within the grand scheme of things because if people have to pick between college basketball or college football, especially during March Madness is going to have to compete with college football most likely. That's going to be that revenue will be lost there. I don't think they want those two clashing. I think that they would just put it back in the fall and have a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, they'll get the season right now, what they're looking at is kind of a mid-March startup. So, so the first couple weeks you'd be competing with March Madness. But a lot of those are throwaway games for the Power 5 anyway. You get your pay-to-play games right there. So
yep.
By the time it rolls around, you're looking at April, May. Then your college football, you're the only show in town. Everybody, players coming back at the month of June off, maybe halfway through July, and then you're right back at it in August. Maybe they, postpone when workouts can start a little bit. But these guys, they want to play. They want to be on. They want to be working out. That's what they love that. That's what they live for. You can see it right now with everybody saying they want to play in the fall. There might be some pushback from the players there, but I don't think a ton. And coaches will know that. Coaches will make adjustments on, workouts and the intensity. And I think he'll be right back into the fall.
Yeah. Speaking of guys who want to play, Trevor Lawrence, he's expected to be number 1 overall in the upcoming draft. He has been extremely vocal on Twitter and social media about wanting to play. And, he's been backed by a lot of athletes, a lot of people high up in, higher positions saying, look, the kids want to play even if they're not getting paid. But so I thought Trevor brought up some great points all about, for most kids, it's a safer environment because if you do commit to playing the college football season, you're going to have to commit to wearing the mask. You're going to have to commit to social distancing when, otherwise, if you're at home or just not playing football in general, you're probably, you're not caring about the rules. You're saying we're in college, screw it, we're going to go party and all that. Where otherwise you have the discipline of the football coaches and just wanting not to disappoint fans and everything, especially for these bigger schools, they're going to be held to a higher level. So that point by Trevor Lawrence I thought was a great point, and a lot of people weren't thinking about it. But, I mean, that doesn't change the fact that it still could be dangerous to play with that, depending on travel and all that and how they make it happen. But, I mean, these guys want to play no matter what. But the thing I'm curious about is, Trevor Lawrence he really doesn't even need to be in a position to play because he's probably going to be the number one pick no matter what. But guys similar to Trevor Lawrence in this position, they want to play to prove that, they can be that number 2, number 3 draft pick when other guys might be more worried about their safety. So do you think the majority of college football players are on Trevor Lawrence's side?
Yeah, I absolutely think that almost all of them are got to be on his side. I mean, they've worked so hard to get here. Most of them have something to try to prove, whether it's to a scout or whoever it is at the next level, regardless of sport. And I agree 100% with Trevor Lawrence, and I'm happy. No college athlete has a bigger platform than he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the most well-known one right now.
Just got engaged.
So I like that he's using his platform to put his stance out there.
Yeah, I think players would agree with him. I think that you could kind of refute some of his points by saying if you play in the fall, then in the spring, they're going to be like, we're not playing football, and they won't have to abide by any social distancing rules. He also might have some ulterior motives there because if the draft doesn't get pushed back, then he would kind of be in a tough position with his senior season where do I play in the spring with the draft right around the corner? Do I just sit out? Whereas if he has a normal fall season, he can play, then prep for the draft and do his thing. I think the players want to play. They've been there on campus since, in some cases since the first or second week of July. So they've been away from their families, forced to, stay in a bubble environment on campus while their coaches are going home to their families with very, very limited freedoms and probably a lot of downtime and honestly probably quite a lot of boredom just being by yourself. I mean, granted with your team, but with the same guys on an empty college campus for this long. So I understand why they want to play, but I think that it would benefit the sport to push everything back. I just think it would be weird to have 2 conferences play in the spring and 3 in the fall. I just don't see that happening.
No, I agree, Matt. At this point, it's either they're all in or they're all out. I think it's got to be a uniform decision. I think the NCAA's got to step in to do something here.
So do you think if other conferences just say, no season at all, like the Pac-12 and the Big Ten will then back out too, or you think they're going to stick strong to that spring season that they're
proposing? I don't think anyone's going to say not at all because there is too much money at stake for at least in the spring for them to make the call this early, I'd say. And I'd say that's why they waited this long to even call the fall seasons because they know how much money there is in having it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's going to be a big spring season with all 5 Power 5s. I just think that makes the most sense. And there's a lot of talk. Everything that you hear about a vaccine, they're saying that by sometime in the spring, they're tentatively floating out like March, late February to mid-March, somewhere in that time frame, a vaccine might be out. You have a season that starts the end of March. Next thing you know, you have full stadiums. So I think that it would be in everybody's best interest to and again, selfishly, I want to be able to go to games, all that kind of stuff. And, I think a spring season could be fun. You're going to have snow games. You're going to have all sorts of crazy stuff happening. So
for sure.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Definitely could be a fun season. And, hope it all goes well because at the end of the day, you're just trying to get unpaid athletes to go play a sport that they, could be pretty dangerous for them regardless of a pandemic. And now you add that to it. So hope it all works out because I know we all want to see college football along with the majority of America. So yeah, hope that all works out. Why don't we change pace a little bit and head on to not a proposed bubble, but to an actual bubble environment in the NBA where things have been going extremely smoothly. Still no positive cases. The games have been fun to watch, lots of action. And, one team in particular is extremely hot that, if they can get into the playoffs, like that'd be amazing. But just to watch them now has been so much fun. The Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker's been going off. It's been great.
Yeah, Matt, you got a big smirk on your face. You can start it off. I know how you feel with the Suns.
Yeah, I'm from another podcast that I listen to. I've become a big Suns guy, and it's just kind of cool to see like a team that like, why are they invited into the bubble? I forgot what the odds were going in for them to make the playoffs, but it was crazy odds to make the playoffs. They basically had to go undefeated, and right now they're sitting at a game away from going undefeated in the bubble. Knocked off the Sixers today, which will always make me happy if anybody beats the Sixers.
I don't care if they're without Simmons and Embiid. Just pound them. I don't care.
Exactly. I don't like the Sixers, so that's great. But yeah, the bubble. I mean, look, the NBA after a couple, iffy things right at the beginning, people tweeting out that they'd already been invited inside the bubble. They've really locked it down, and they're showing once again why they're the best run league right now in America in professional sports. I think without a question. So props to the NBA. The bubble's been fun. It's been something to watch. I love like the all-day slates of games. It's just awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the Celtics game just finished. We're recording this at it's 7:45 on Tuesday night right now. The Celtics just finished as we were recording.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, another win for the C's. Tatum missed 3 shots tonight, Matt.
I know. I was literally just about to read you his stat line. I was like, your guy Tatum went off tonight. 29, 6, and 2. He only missed 3 shots. Just have a night, Jason. That's awesome.
Yep. But about your Suns. It's incredible. Booker is so good. But it's not just him. They get a lot of dudes who can flat out ball. But I mean, it helps when you got a guy like Devin Booker who can take the pressure off you. But I think it's crazy. Like, what's the point of having them to the bubble if they're gonna go 7-1 or and like. If you told me a team's gonna go 7-1 or 8-0 and like still not like potentially make the playoffs, like that seems dumb to me. They've done everything that they had to do. They should be in the playoffs with a chance to make a run because no one wants to see them right now, obviously. No,
they're the hottest team in the bubble right now, and I mean I don't even know. I can't even find their odds to make the playoffs online because I still think they're incredibly low just because of their previous record. But I agree. Like, why invite them to the bubble if they're not even going to get a chance to go to playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think what they're going to end up having to do is like they're going to have to play like almost a play-in series, kind of like the MLB wildcard games. Is essentially what it's like. Which I think is kind of dumb, but
could be. No, I think that could be very exciting.
And I think
it would definitely be exciting, but
I think it's dumb that they have to do that.
Yes.
After coming into this environment, almost like, like the teams are playing like nothing mattered before. They're just playing like this is a clean slate, and I think it is. I think it's it's a good argument to have to be playing in that mindset because you took so much time off and now playing so well in a different environment with basically just playoffs on the mind. You're not even gonna get to make them because of what happened a couple months ago.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. The hottest team in the league right now is the Phoenix Suns. There's no other way to put it. I know some guys are some teams are resting dudes. Giannis plays like the first half of a game.
Adam Silver found a way to make Zion be one of the first games to play in the bubble. He got them into the bubble. He's making it so Giannis can't foul out. There's no doubt in my mind he won't have the hottest team have a chance to make the playoffs. Adam Silver will figure out a way to make this happen.
He'll push some buttons.
Yeah.
So right now, just for anybody who's wondering, I believe what is it? If the 8-9 are within a game and a half of each other, they have to play a play-in game. And right now, I don't even know what they're going to do for tiebreakers and that kind of stuff right now. But you have 3 teams tied for the 8 seed. So 2 in the West. 2 of those will make it. You have Memphis, Portland, and Phoenix all at 33 and 39. I have no idea how they do a tiebreaker. I will tell you who they all play next. The Suns play the Mavericks, who I believe are not playing for anything right now. I think their seeding is already locked up.
I think the Suns will take care of them because the Suns are playing for their lives.
Exactly. Then you have – who else did I say? It's the Suns.
The Blazers and the Grizzlies.
The Blazers. Let's see who they're – the Blazers are winning right now.
Oh, yeah, they're beating the Mavs right now. Pretty good. Let's say they hold on. They're up 8.5.
Their next game is against New Jersey.
Okay.
So then you would have And the last team was, who did I say, Memphis?
Memphis, who lost to the Celtics today.
Who lost to the Celtics today. So let's see. Look at the Grizzlies here. And their last game, they're playing the Bucks, who have nothing to play for, but still a tough team. So you could see a loss there, and you could get the Phoenix Suns in. If all three,
I think it's either the Suns or the Blazers. I don't see the Grizzlies making it.
so the Suns and the Blazers can both make it. If they'll make the play-in game.
Perfect. That's what I think. I think it's going to be them two.
I think. I want to see a playing game. That just sounds so much fun.
Well, no
So
matter.
I think, yeah.
They're going to play in game either way because they're not going to. No team is going to be able to get a 2-game lead. Oh no, that's not true. No, that is true. Nobody's going to be able to get a 2-game lead. You're going to be
originally the playing game was not part of the plan.
Yeah, well, it was, but it was like a maybe scenario. But now it's a definite. Now that the teams have done this, so.
You just picture
finish within a game.
I wish there was fans.
No, they're on the TV screen.
No, the virtual fan. Dude, ESPN loves the virtual fans. They
loves
think
them.
The best thing ever. I can't stand the virtual fans. I'd rather have the CGI MLB fans like that can barely move than the virtual fans.
No, you're right. ESPN loves the virtual fans just like when I'm watching a baseball game, like they love the cardboard cutouts. Like, who cares? What are we doing?
Which one would you rather have though?
I kind of like the cutouts. I'm not gonna lie.
I think the cardboard cutouts are funny. I think
so too.
You can do a lot of fun things with them. Like the Red Sox have Dustin Pedroia. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. The cutouts are better than the virtual.
It's his whole family. And I don't think the Red Sox even like asked him if they could. I think they just were like, we need Pedroia in the stadium, so they just put him and his whole family just sitting behind the dugout.
Love it.
Oh, the Red Sox.
Oh, all right, you guys. I have got to run. This has been the craziest day of my life. But I'll let you guys finish this show off with some baseball. All right, boys.
Sounds good.
I'll
catch you later, Rob. Yeah, I mean, the Red Sox, dude. The Red Sox, they're getting hot again. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but they haven't been playing awful.
Yeah, look, I mean, everybody's been saying it now. It's like the new hot take that's not really a hot take, that the difference between the Red Sox and the Yankees isn't the starting pitching. Both starting staff.
They're both bad.
Just that one of the offenses is living up to the expectations and one of the offenses isn't. And it just seems like the Red Sox can't put it together. You score 7 runs, you give up 8. You give up 3 runs, you score 9.
I don't think it's out of the question that the Red Sox get a playoff spot, though. I mean, Jada Martinez can get hot. I think if he gets hot and he figures things out, he's the type of guy that will motivate everyone else to do better too. I mean, obviously, everyone's been arguing that, it's the video room. He doesn't have the video room this year. That's why his swing's so bad. The dude can hit. He studies hitting more than anyone. He still can study his batting practice swings and everything he already did before. He just needs something to click. Right now, it's all a mental game for him. And when it clicks, I think he's going to get all his confidence back, and he's going to start teaching Devers, teaching Benny. I think everyone gets going once JD gets going, because normally JD is a constant.
Yeah, so the only guy who's been a constant right now is Bogarts because he's the best player in baseball, and
Fernando Tatis is the best player in baseball, but we'll let that one slide.
He's not even – Tatis isn't even the best player in California.
All right. Mike Trout is on another level. He doesn't count.
Fine. All right, he's the best player in California. I wouldn't even say that – yeah, he's nasty. But Bogarts has been great.
Yeah, he has.
I totally forgot it. Oh, actually last night. So I was watching the game last night, and bottom of the 8 – we're chasing 3, I think, at the time. And I'm like, oh, sick. Bogarts is up. I'm like, all right, I'll stay up for Bogarts at bat. He strikes out. Then Chavis is on deck. Chavis strikes out. I'm like, all right, screw this. I'm going to bed. And then after I go to bed, come to find out they had a big rally in the 8th, scored 2 runs, and then still lose 8-7.
Yeah, it was the longest game since 2014 in Red Sox history at Fenway Park. And, I mean, I fell asleep watching the game. It was that drawn out.
Yeah, I did too. I fell asleep during the 8th inning. I was exhausted.
Yeah, so they didn't play good. There was a lot of miscues yesterday, but today they're playing as we speak. They're losing.
Last I looked, it was 1-0 in the first. I can check.
But this is the lineup. If everything clicks and everything goes well, the lineup they have today, aside from one thing, is the lineup I want. Today they have Benintendi leading off, then Verdugo, then JD, Bogey, Moreland, Vasquez, Chavis at second, which I want. Bradley in center, and then that Rule 5 guy from that Astros, Aruz, or however you say it, at third.
Arauz, baby. Arauz had a night last night, though.
He did. So I like him as a utility guy, but I think, I mean, obviously you need Devers at third, but factor in Devers, maybe like drop down a couple guys a spot and add in Devers. That's the lineup I want. So, I mean, the lineup just looks nasty on paper. They just need to get it to click. And the pitching's going to be bad the whole rest of the season. So I don't even want to think about the pitching.
Yeah, the pitching's not good. You have Martin Perez tonight, who's been staff ace and potential Cy Young candidate.
No,
but
I think the ace has definitely been Evaldi.
Didn't Perez throw like 10 consecutive scoreless innings before this? I know he's thrown at least 5.
I don't know. Evaldi had 10 strikeouts his last start, which is unusual for him.
No, I love Evaldi. Evaldi pumps. But going back to your lineup thing, I'd go Verdugo. In my perfect lineup would be Verdugo, Bogey, Devers, JD, because I like that left, right. Although I guess that doesn't matter because relievers have to face multiple guys. So I take that back. I'd go Verdugo. I just want Verdugo leading off. I think Benny's been bad. He's hitting 81 right now.
I want Devers in the 2-hole.
He's got too much pop for that, though.
Yeah, no, but I think Xander has just as much as pop as Devers, and I like Xander hitting behind JD.
Oh, so you want JD at 3, Xander at 4? I want Xander's my best hitter. I want him in the 3-hole.
So do what, JD? Then do you want JD 2 or JD 4?
Have JD 4. Have him protected by Moreland or Chavis. That's enough protection for him. I'd rather have him protecting Bogey, especially right now with the way he's swinging the bat.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, no, the lineup's always been a potential, and there's a lot of different ways they can form it if everything just works. But yeah, Benintendi, I really hope he gets it going. His swing is one of the most beautiful swings in baseball when it's right, and right now it's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Sox do have some very nice. I mean, Vasquez has a gorgeous swing. Benny's swing when it's going is beautiful.
Yeah,
Chase has a sick swing too.
He has a sick follow through. Speaking of sick follow throughs, we did not get to see Ramon Laureano's follow through because he didn't get to throw a punch. He got tackled by the Astros when he charged the dugout.
Yeah. Listen, I've seen players charge the dugout before. I've never seen a player leave first base to go charge a dugout.
Yeah, it was crazy. So for those that don't know, it was a series against the Oakland A's and the Houston Astros, division rivals, a lot of built-up tensions because the A's feel cheated because the Astros cheated.
Naturally.
But really, no one expected a fight to happen this series at all. No one at all. Nothing was really going bad. The only thing that happened was Ramon Laureano, or I'm just going to call him the Laser because it's a lot easier than saying his actual name, I think. And that's a cool nickname because he's got a cannon. He got hit 3 times during the series, twice by the same pitcher, right, Matt?
Yeah, twice by the same pitcher. And then he's walking off he's pissed. He's like, I just got hit 3 times in 2 days.
Yeah, so a lot of built-up anger.
Yeah.
The funny thing, though, is I don't think he was actually that mad. If you go back and watch the video, he's basically telling the slider. He's like, dude, if you just throw it this way, you're not going to hit me.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny.
Hilarious.
He's obviously not happy about it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that if you're, he's been hit 3 times and, that hurts. It's not fun to get hit.
It's a major league pitch. It's going to sting.
Yeah, that's no fun. And then he also was on the Astros, was traded straight up for one of the pitchers that hit him. So there was a little bit of, pre-existing beef there.
Maybe.
Now, the guy, so an Astros reporter, somebody tweeted about it, and the pitcher tweet, it was a whole thing. But, yeah, like you said, after he gets hit, he's showing the pitcher how to throw. He's going, snap it. And so, obviously, as you're a pitcher, you're getting shown up right now. Obviously, not having your best game because you just hit a guy with a breaking ball.
Yeah.
And then the hitting coach, Cintrone, on the top step of the dugout, calling him on. So the Laser said, all right.
Yeah.
And
pulled an Amir Garrett on him and challenged the whole team.
Yeah. A crazy move with nobody on base. Your next closest teammate is a batter, and you can see in the video just a swarm of Astros.
Oh, yeah.
It was unbelievable. Just a swarm of Astros on him before you saw another green shirt.
He got tackled by the Astros catcher. I don't know if it was their catcher during the game or their backup catcher, but look, I thought it was a pretty cool move by Laureano, the Laser, but in this climate with the pandemic and, you know, the Oakland A's at the time were on a 9-game winning streak. They ended up losing to the Angels, I think. Yeah, they ended up losing last night.
Yeah.
But they were on a 9-game winning streak, so you could either go risk getting hurt or obviously you're going to get suspended. So he's like their 2-hitter, hitting great, and now you're going to risk that messing up the streak, which was ended anyway. But not only that, you're forcing contact between people. But the reason he charged supposedly was the Astros hitting coach was taunting him about his mother, which in Latin culture is a huge no-no. And apparently that's what prompted him to go charge the whole dugout.
Yeah, I'm still team charge the dugout, I think.
I think, I mean, you have to be an idiot to be a hitting coach and asking a guy that's way younger than you. And I mean, have you seen him throw the ball? He throws it like 100 miles an hour from 400 feet away in center field. And you're going to go challenge him to go get you. He hid behind the guy. You're so scared of him. So, I mean, I'm completely on Laureano's side. Astros were just asking for it at that point.
Quite literally asking for it. And
Literally
I think that
for it.
it's one of the I'm just having fly out, never mind. I have the Red Sox game and I thought somebody just went deep, but they didn't. Yeah. Cintrone's a big guy though. He's like 250. He's a big dude. He could have held his own, but he wanted no part of it. And again, it's just interesting with the league doing so much to protect the Astros, then the Astros to go do that. I mean,
so the hitting coach, his name is what? Centone,
something like that.
Centone. He ended up getting 20 games reported as of now, which is crazy. And I think he got 20 games obviously because of the whole instigating a fight during the pandemic. But he's the only remaining coaching staff member from the 2017 Astros that the whole cheating scandals around them. So I think this is almost a way, like an easy way out of saying, the Astros didn't take it upon themselves to punish this guy. He's the hitting coach. The whole thing was a hitting cheating scandal pretty much. Kind of weird he's still there. So I think a lot of people are happy to see that he got 20 games. But Laureano got 6 games, which to me was very surprising. I thought he was going to get at least 8.
Based on what they did to poor Joe Kelly, I thought he was going to get a ton of games too.
I thought he was going to get 10 games because, Joe Kelly didn't even hit the guy. He didn't even – I guess you could argue he instigated the fight. He pretty much instigated the fight. But, he wasn't really his intention to go fight a guy. He was just having fun and being a psychopath like Joe Kelly is. But he got 8 games for really no contact involved, basically. And Laureano literally charges an entire dugout and wants every single piece of the guy he can get, and he only gets 6 games, which I find, like I said, I'm still team charge the dugout, but 6 games, I feel like it's got to be more than that. It's not fair to Joe Kelly.
I think they should just lessen Joe Kelly's. I think 6 games is more than fair. I just think it's the 8 games is unfair. So I think
no, that's a good way to put it. And I think maybe the fact that it is 6 games shows that Joe Kelly's, when appealed, will be lessened.
Yeah. He didn't hit a guy. He hurt somebody's feelings. And they were breaking pitches too. It's not like the one that went behind Correa was a breaking pitch. I don't care. He didn't throw a fastball for a strike. He didn't help himself by basically saying I don't care. But
Ooh, speaking of the absolutely amazing quote from Ramon. They asked him if he regretted charging him. He goes, I do regret it because he's a loser.
Wow, I love that. And if you look at that guy too, Cintrone, I just looked up his name. It is Cintrone. Does look like a loser. He looks like he's got the slick back here.
Did you look at how old is he? How old is this guy?
I want to say 54.
54.
You want to Google that for me? Because I think that's right, but that's a shot. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. But either way.
Yeah, he's not old, but you know what I mean.
Oh. Alex Cintrone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Alex Cintrone. Let's see. If you're above 30, which he's got to be, what are you doing? He's 41, so not that old. But, you're a 41-year-old guy challenging a 20-year-old Major League Baseball player to come and fight you.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
For something you're not even involved in.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, it's not
coach. He has nothing
for his guy.
He has nothing to do with what happened in the box.
Yeah. No, that's a good That makes no sense. Other things that make no sense. Who's the guy from Cleveland who went to the bar?
Zach Plesac. Come on,
Zach.
dude.
That doesn't make sense to go to a bar.
What
I
makes
love make him
but
drive home.
so Zach Plesac went to a bar in Detroit, I think, after a win or something.
Yeah,
Went out with his buddies.
Chicago.
Chicago, you're right. It was Chicago. So they sent him home 5 hours in a rental car. Just said, go think about what you've done on a long drive. And then the next day, when the Indians said they would handle everything in-house, Mike Clevenger, fellow staff member, was like, hey, I also was with Zach Plesac. So they sent him home too.
Yeah. No, it's not good. It's a bad look.
Bad look for the Indians.
Learn from Miami.
Yeah, I don't get how it's still going on. I mean, I guess they just expect like the teams not to care, but I'm glad. I mean, okay, the Indians have someone who's fighting leukemia on their team,
Yeah.
Carlos Carrasco, and you have guys going out to bars. Like, I get it. It's not like you're all young and everything, but the dude literally has cancer. And you go to the other side of the league with the Cubs, they have two guys who have had cancer, and no one's even leaving their clubhouse probably.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like, and those guys are in the same room. They're pitchers. As limited as contract is, your starting pitchers are probably, you're broken out into position.
Yeah, you have staff meetings and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a terrible look,
and it stinks for the team now too, because that's two of their best pitchers.
Yeah.
I mean, Shane Bieber still shoves, but like you just lost your number 2 and 3 guy.
Yeah, and those are solid guys. And you're a Cleveland Indians team that a lot of people thought was over the hill. They thought you already had your 2016 was your chance, and now the rest of the league kind of caught up. You got Houston, Red Sox, obviously winning the 2 years after that, and then you have the Yankees are a powerhouse now. The Dodgers. People thought this Cleveland core with Lindor and Carrasco and all those guys, that was a thing of the past, and they had a chance to get into the playoffs.
They were still fighting, and I think they still will fight. But I mean, so Lindor's doing great. Jose Ramirez is having a solid season. Carlos Santana's doing terrible, but he's still the clubhouse leader guy. And then obviously the pitching staff, they've always had great pitching and just continued. And their bullpen, they have some funky dude in the bullpen who looks like he's having a seizure when he throws a pitch. Jake something, but he's nails. So, I mean, they got a lot of excitement, and it stinks that they just those guys have to go sit out. They'll be back. Who knows if they're going to be suspended or anything. They're obviously been sent home, and they wouldn't really miss any starts, I don't think. But, I mean,
they'll go get tested, and they'll be back. But it's just a bad look. And it's just tough from a baseball fan's perspective we were the league that created the idea of the bubble. Granted, the bubble was going to be in Florida and Arizona, which would have been kind of a tough look because those are two pretty bad states with corona. But to to not do the bubble, we don't want to put our players through it. Other leagues adopt the bubble. It's going great, and now you have two teams that have had breakouts. The Cardinals haven't played since, July 29th, I think?
Yeah, and their series with the Cubs just got canceled like yesterday, so they're not. Who knows when they're going to play again? And that's an interesting thing right there. Not to completely, start something new, but this is going to be crazy when they start playing again. They're still trying to play 60 games, so they're going to have to play like 55 games in like 40 something days. So they're either going to be playing less games than everyone else. They're going to reduce the games of everyone or everyone in that league. Or they're just going to be like, hey, Cardinals, sorry, you're not in the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah, and that's something that I was going to say. They should have it so that if you have to if you have to delay a game because someone on your team has it, that should be a forfeit in my mind.
But see, that's when it's hard because we don't really know, like the whole casino rumor was going on with the Cardinals, but we don't really know who was doing that. We don't know how they got corona, and it's not fair to the other players that were following protocol to just have them out of it. And I get I guess you could say it's on them for not controlling the other guys, but Yadier Molina is a guy who got it. I don't know if he was out partying or if he was just getting it because he's in contact with so many guys, being the main guy on that team and the catcher involved in everything. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not fair to the team, but at the same, I understand what you're saying, and I think that should be an option too if it continues to happen.
I think that's the only way to do it because now teams are getting penalized, right? You're already having a short season. Now, say I'm a team and the team that I'm supposed to be playing against they have a corona outbreak because I went to a strip club. Just a hypothetical. That would never happen in real life, but just say that happened.
Yeah.
Now, my starting rotation gets screwed up. Now I have to play double headers. I rely on my bullpen. My bullpen's great. And now I'm playing a bunch of 7-inning games because I have to play these guys in a double header because they can't control themselves and went to a strip club. Look, I get that it's not fair to some of the players on that team, but I think it's better to punish the team with the guys that are breaking the rules and to punish other teams by forcing them
Yeah, no,
to
I
more
agree.
compressed schedule. And look, yeah, Yachty got it. Was Yachty going out? Probably not. But if Yachty told a rookie, don't you dare do anything that's going to jeopardize this season, I'd bet my bottom dollar that rookie probably says yes, Yachty, and doesn't do anything that's going to get that season in trouble. So I think it's on the players, especially when it's these big team outings, if you will. Like it wasn't one guy who went to the casino. It was several guys. It was several guys.
Which is why it's so frustrating to think that baseball was the bubble, where the idea of the bubble was created. And all these things could probably be happening in some capacity if we were in a bubble. You could have team gatherings. You could be hanging out with the guys outside of on the field because you'd all be together, not going anywhere. But now it's like you have to go to your hotel and you have to stay in a room instead of, having an area where you can go to. Like, all the NBA guys, they get to go play ping pong together, watch movies together, eat together. Whatever the MLB is doing, they just get to hang out at the team hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good.
I think for the most part, things have been going well now that, the outbreaks have happened, aside from this Indians thing, which hopefully results in no outbreak. But aside from that, everything has been going well and everything's been following protocol since Manfred, was like, hey, we're going to tighten up on the rules, which you should have done in the first place. But, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I think the baseball has still been exciting to watch. I haven't been too sidetracked with all of it. Padres are still one of the most electric teams to watch. Even if they're not winning games, they're still in it for almost every game. They have a ton of fun guys. The Rockies are playing out of their mind still. Daniel Bard, for someone who's had the yips for like 8 years, he hasn't walked a guy yet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love Daniel Bard, obviously former Red Sox. Bobby Valentine almost ruined his career, but he's, 8 years later, he's able to make a comeback. You could make a case that the three best teams in baseball are all in the NL West, with the Padres, Dodgers, and Rockies, with the way it's been going.
Yeah, no, I think right now they are the best teams in baseball. Maybe the Oakland A's honestly are up there. They've been playing great and they have depth. Their pitching is surprisingly very good for a team who has never in recent years been talked about for their pitching. The A's are up there, and who?
The Twins are good. They had
Twins are great.
Very good.
They went on a losing streak for a little bit, but they're back. They're still, and when they win games, they crush. They're literally the. If it wasn't Bronx Bombers, it would be the I don't even know, the Twins Bombers. No, I have no idea.
Minnesota Mashers.
Minnesota Mashers, fantastic, Matt. Love that.
Yeah, that should be a shirt. Why isn't that a shirt?
It should be.
It should be. We could make that shirt.
Yeah, but other teams that are playing great and really makes no sense. The Miami Marlins, since they've come back, they've been hot, making great defensive plays. I think they've only had like 2 or 3 losses.
Yeah, I'm rooting against them though.
I am too. The Tigers have been playing really well too.
Yeah.
Which these teams are just no reason. Even the Orioles haven't been playing terrible.
That's what I was just gonna say. Baltimore is at like a 500 team fighting for a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, so the season's kind of been flipped. Obviously you have teams that are supposed to be good like the Dodgers, but even the Yankees are falling off a cliff a little bit right now. And the Red Sox, no one really knew what to expect from them. They knew pitching wasn't going to be great. They've been terrible, but we'd like to think they had a chance. They're terrible. Tampa Bay's not been playing great. Toronto's had a chance just because everyone likes the guys on the team. But it's really been, everyone that's supposed to be good has not been that good, and everyone that had a chance or wasn't supposed to be good has been playing pretty well. The only teams that were supposed to be good and are playing good are like the Twins and the Dodgers.
Yeah. And the Padres kind of.
The Padres were like they could be like a wild card team, and they're playing like they could win the division.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think your World Series champion comes out of the NL West. I'm gonna make that prediction now.
I think honestly, I agree with that, and I'm honestly really disappointed that that more than one team won't be able to make it out of that division after the first round.
Is that how that works?
I actually, you know what? I really don't know. Based off like previous playoffs, that would be how it works. But
No, even in previous playoffs, you had a Red Sox Yankees ALCS.
that's true.
So it would be based on record. And I think that teams will be able to make it out of the first round because the highest seeds get to pick who they play.
Oh,
So
that's right.
I'm not going to pick a division rival to play. I would certainly
That'd be fun though.
It would be fun. The amount of disrespect that would take. Could you imagine?
But speaking of division rivals and fun, the Dodgers and Padres have been playing. Those games have been
Unreal.
really cool to watch. Even just the highlights. Dustin May has the craziest pitches I've ever seen.
Yeah, and those teams are going to have some absolute wars over the next.
Yeah. And it makes it even more exciting that it's only 60 games, which I know is like a bad argument for the people who want more games like myself, that how exciting this has been. But I think it's just everyone's been embracing the short season, and that's, everyone's embracing the extra innings rule, which has kind of been kind of fun to watch too.
Speaking of extra innings, just total sidetrack. The Lightning and Blue Jackets are in quadruple overtime right now, tied at 2.
Wow.
They have played 3 scoreless overtime periods. So anybody who's wondering or waiting for the Bruins right now, well, obviously you're not going to be watching this. Never mind. Bruins getting delayed is what I'm trying to say. But you already know that because you're listening to this in the future. The Mavericks came all the way back and tied the Blazers, which is good for our Suns. And the Red Sox tied it up. Let's see how they scored. Oh, Red Sox.
It's 1-1.
Davis, the Ice Horse, singled, and Christian Vasquez, the best offensive catcher in baseball, scored.
Actually, he's the best AL. JT Realmuto has been really crushing the ball.
Christian Vasquez is the best offensive catcher in baseball.
He definitely has an argument for that, and I would like to be right up there with you arguing that.
Good.
Just got to point out that Realmuto has been on fire.
He's not bad.
He's not bad. But, yeah. So I think baseball has been fun to watch. But you got anything else you want to talk about?
Joe Adell had a ball bounce off his glove.
Joe Adell. Yeah. But, hey, I'm pretty sure he went 2 for 4 the next night. He's definitely one of the fastest guys out there. I'm excited for him. I still think he's got a lot of upside. He's actually not playing tonight, but I think he's going to do great. I mean, it's a tough season to come into and just start.
Yeah, it's a weird
Especially, normally he'd be coming up from AAA or wherever and actually playing. He's just playing inter squads in wherever the AAA is. So it's a big difference to be playing against, your own minor league competition, not even other teams, and then going to major leagues and facing the best guys literally in the game.
Yeah, that's going to be an adjustment for sure.
But speaking of minor leagues, the Blue Jays are playing in a minor league stadium tonight for the first time. They're playing their AAA stadium in Buffalo. Buffalo Blue Jays are tonight, and they're wearing their new powder blue uniforms for the first time.
They are losing but threatening right now. Powder blue uniforms. I'm a big fan of that, actually.
I'm surprised. They had to go all in. I'm really surprised. They got to make new jerseys for the Buffalo team.
You think so?
They got to have like a home alternative. Like, I think you can keep like the white, but I think your alternative has got to be like Buffalo Blue Jays or something.
That'd be kind of dope. And
you got to, all these owners are worried about revenue. Who doesn't love limited edition stuff?
It's a great point. This is the only time you can get it.
Only time you can get it.
I wouldn't even think about buying that, to be honest.
It would be sick. Like, no one's gonna forget 2020, and to have a piece of Buffalo Blue Jays official MLB memorabilia.
Yeah, it'd be kind of sick, and that would be worth something one day too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in on that now. I'm all in.
I feel like they'll come up with something, maybe like a hat or something.
Yeah, they got to do something. I believe Vladdy Jr. is up right now. Oh no, Bichette. No, it's Bichette. Never mind.
Love me some Boba Fett. But yeah, that's really all I got right now. You got
That's
anything
all
else?
I got. I'm just giving live updates, which don't matter to you people listening at all because you already know what happens in the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Baseball's been fun. NHL hockey, playoff hockey right now. Love me some playoff hockey. We'll have Bruins series to talk about. Hopefully, they can figure out how to play hockey again
Mm-hmm.
after a dismal showing in the bubble thus far. So we'll be back with that. We'll have some college football answers next show as well.
Yeah, that'll be very
So
exciting to see what happens.
yeah, lots
Yeah,
of
so
clarity in the next couple days.
we'll see what happens with college football. Maybe some college basketball is included in that. Keep grinding the baseball season. Keep grinding the NBA bubble. Playoffs are going to start pretty soon for them. And like you said, playoff hockey, nothing better.
There's nothing better than playoff hockey, even with no fans. I don't know. Maybe with no fans, there might be something better, but it's got to be close.
But yeah, well, that's all we got. So thanks for watching. It's been great. We will see you next time. This is Behind the Dish Sports. I'm Ben Bellotti, Matt Marasco right there. And Robbie Can was with us earlier. He just had to step away, but Robbie Can's part of the show too. So thanks for watching, guys.